My name is Jane Hegstrom, and it's such a privilege to be here with all of you. I would like to read an excerpt from one of a collection of my memoir pieces about my Midwestern childhood in the 1950s, and the title is Mary and Carol Ann. In the mid-1950s, child care, play dates, nannies, and after-school care were unheard of in my small Midwestern town. It was a time of building forts, catching fish with bare hands down at the Big Sioux River, going unchaperoned to the movies with friends on Sunday afternoons, and spending unhurried summer days at a neighborhood park where children were taught to make luster-laced lanyards, weave baskets, and concoct a hobo stew. After lunch, children darted out screen doors that slammed shut behind them, and mothers who called out after them, "Start home when the street lights come on." We never gave a thought to explain where we were going. My friendships came from my neighborhood, and my neighborhood teemed with boys. While I was the oldest of 6 children, which might suggest that I had automatic playmates, I didn't want to play with my younger brothers and sisters, and I never knew anyone else who wanted to play with their younger brothers and sisters either. There were only 2 girls in my neighborhood, Mary and Carol Ann. The short supply of girls was further complicated because I was a year younger. And everybody knows kids don't like to play with younger kids. I took some comfort knowing that I was all that they had too. A less than satisfactory option for them, but for me a wildly happy occasion if they would play with me. Mary and I lived on the same side of the street, only one house between us. 4 cement steps led up to Mary's front door, a torn and a bulging screen, evidence of many eager hands pushing it open as children bounded outdoors to play. Everyone, it seemed, except Mary. Mary was the oldest girl and the second oldest of 9 children. Good Catholics, my parents would joke and then laugh at themselves because with their 6 children, what were they, sloppy Protestants? The housework in a family of 11 fell on Mary and her mother's shoulders. Even today, when I think of Mary, I can see her jiggling a fussy younger brother or sister in her arms. By the time she was in high school, Mary had a sort of tilt to her hip, a hitch in her walk, something I always attributed to her carrying and bouncing little toddlers on her hips through the years. But on those occasions, when Mary was able to play with me, it was a marriage of 2 like-minded little tomboy souls. In the spring, we saw backyard apple trees exploding with pink buds that promised apples stolen after dark in the fall. Was this theft some deeply embedded prelapsarian memory of the temptation of the apple in the Garden of Eden? The promise of the knowledge of good and evil? Mary and I stole this forbidden fruit, not because we necessarily liked its taste, but rather for the thrill, the bravado of the after-dark theft where back doors flew open and porch lights flicked on and shouts of, "I know who you are, and I'll be in touch with your parents after I call the police." In the winter, we built snow tunnels into blizzard-driven drifts that stacked up against thick hedges that in the spring relapsed into purple lilacs. However, the best winter fun was when Mary and I played Hitchem, an activity that was dangerous, illegal, and played only after dark. Hitchem, or hanging on to the back bumper of a car, required the following conditions: a quiet road with at least 4 to 5 inches of solidly packed snow, a stop sign and bushes or trees adjacent to the stop sign to hide behind. It was important that the targeted car be the only one on the road because another car coming up from the rear would surely see what we were about to do. Scrambling out of the bushes, we would grab the car's back bumper and in a crouching position, wait for the car to pull away from the stop sign, dragging us along the slick road. There was convulsive fits of giggling as we slid and swerved sideways into each other on dark, slippery, snow-packed roads. Flying Hitchum was the most thrilling naughtiness this 11-year-old ever experienced. Thanks.